And good afternoon, and yes, welcome back to X-Plane. A bit of an impromptu stream from me this afternoon / YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube, and welcome indeed to the slightly crowded skies, as you can see above Jersey. Yes, here in the Channel Islands on Jersey. We're going to take a flight up the UK to Newcastle. And yes, first flight I've actually done with global traffic turned on. I've just watched a plane come in down here, land and taxi and park up, which has now disappeared rather oddly. And yes, going to be departing and heading north to Newcastle with global traffic on, as I said. So this is the route we're going to take. So we're currently down here on the Channel Islands at Jersey. And we're going to be flying pretty much straight up the backbone of the UK, over Birmingham and all the way up to Newcastle. Plane of choice for me is the XCrafts E-175, which you can see we've got a bit of a wind going on here. And yeah, really liking the fact that global traffic just gives you this bit of immersion. You can actually have a look at the schedule. So here's Jersey, and here's the flights that are planned. So we can look at all flights. So currently 11:59. So 11:55 Doncaster flyby, which one I've just seen come in, and at 12:05. Let's look at departures. Yeah, 12:10 we got departure going to Manchester, and 12:05 we've got an arrival coming in from Birmingham. Going to be landing at the north, parking up at the North Apron, which is where we are, and that's going to be another flyby flight. So that's due in 5 minutes time. Now interestingly, I'm due to depart on runway 26. Patrick, good afternoon. I'm due to depart on runway 26, which is down there. The plane I just saw landed here and came in that way. I've done my flight plan through SimBrief, so that should be our departing runway is here. But I think what we'll do is by the time we've pushed back, got engines running, we'll then see which way he comes in, and hopefully we avoid a bit of a collision with him. I think we can actually look on and see where he is, which is the other brilliant thing with Traffic Global. So he's there. So arrivals 12:05, wasn't it? You can actually click on him and see where he is. There you go. So he's actually on final. So he's coming in on his approach. He's at 1700 feet, doing 86 knots. There's his heading. So he's going to be coming in the opposite way to the way we're going to be taking off. So that means that, in theory, we're going to collide with him. But the next arrival after that isn't until 12:35. Departures, though, we've got departure at 12:10 going out from Manchester, which is currently here. The flyby, so we should logically follow him out, but that means that I'm guessing he's going to depart here. So I think it's probably safer. So here's our flyby coming in. That I think it's probably safer that we should taxi this way and go there, so we can just see him now. So we'll wait until he lands, and then we'll get ourselves set up to depart ourselves. But yeah, already I could just sit here.
Oh yeah.
Big Mac McClure. What an awesome name. Thank you very much for the follow. I could pretty much just sit here and just plane spot and just watch these departures and arrivals. When I first installed it, did a bit of plane spotting around East Midlands, and then went down to Heathrow, and it was like, wow, you just couldn't keep up with the stuff coming in. And it's flipping awesome. It is really, really good, and again, just adds that whole level of immersion into your flights. It's going to be interesting to see when we do some group flying, that having us lot as well, having a bit of an argy-bargy with other planes. So tomorrow afternoon we're going to do a group flight, so it's going to be interesting to see then what other traffic we get around. And if you've got collisions turned on, which you can as part of global traffic, they'll actually crash into you. So again, just adds a whole other thing. So I think by the time we push back, if I aim to push back in and go this way, I think we should be departing here. I think Simbrief's got it wrong. Afternoon, Big Mac McClure. So here's this Flyby plane coming in. It looks a bit low. And you actually get the wake turbulence behind them as well when they're coming in. So if I was in a small plane now and tried to take off when something big had just landed, it'd flip me over, which is pretty cool. Okay, I could have probably stopped and turned in there. Is he going to come off here? Or is he going to go all the way down the end? And again, these planes will actually fly from destination to destination. So if you wanted to, he's just flown from Birmingham. So the departure we've got going out soon, you could follow it. You could just sit there and follow that plane all the way to its destination. It won't follow True Airways, but it will fly from here to its destination, land and taxi and stop. So this one of these is going to be departing soon. Anyway, that's enough of that. Plane's pretty much fired up. APU's on. Flight is set into the program flight computer, I hope, because I do have issues with this plane. Controls hopefully working. Rudder pedals may need calibrating, I think, because that's set in the middle. Let me just recalibrate my rudder pedals when I read out what Tux has put. T rudder. Calibrate. Next. SimBrief only accounts for weather at the time of generating, so won't necessarily give an accurate departure runway. You should always make your own decision based on active sky. There you go. Thank you, Tux. Right, that's better. So he should have now be taxiing, which he is. He's coming in over here. It's just brilliant, isn't it? That's just really cool. So I've got departure due out at 12:10. This plane here next to me has disappeared, so that means that he's going to pull in here next to me. Right. Let's set our... Actually, I better wait till he taxis behind me. We can pre-program our pushback. Pre-plan pushback. So if we think we're going to be departing out here, we really want to be pushing back to probably about here then. Or should I go here in case we then get another plane? Okay, let's go there in case we then get another plane. Taxi.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Right, so he's gonna... Oh, he is going to taxi into here. Where is he going then? Okay. Right, let's push back. Plugins. Better push back. Start push back. There we go.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
It's very loud, the pushback thing. So I haven't got the engines running yet. So I've sort of programmed the flight in, hoping it works. I do have all sorts of issues with this plane. Okay. So he's driving up, which means he's going to peer out of the building. There he is. And the tug is broken. Because, yay, X-plane. And you can...
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
You can turn off the labels of all the planes flying around you. You can turn off the aircraft noises of the other planes flying around you. I think it just adds a certain something.
strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Okay, release parking brake. So he's now going to hoist me up, but you can just see the plane just going up slightly. That's pretty awesome. Now he's going to tell me I can start engines.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay. So we'll start number 2. Number 2, so I'm guessing that noise I can hear now is another plane about to depart. Probably this one to the side of me. Okay, let's start one. One is started. Flight director on. Okay. So pumps on. That's all good. No smoking signs can go on. Fasten seatbelt signs can go on. APU.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
APU can go on. Set parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that's definitely another plane around us departing. Yeah, there we go. Ah, so that Flybee's taxiing. Oh, there we go. So the EasyJet's taking off now. So it is that way.
Tow is disconnected. A bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Right, so he's departed. Brakes are on. Let's give it some flaps. Hang on, no, he's just landing. What the hell's going on there? Was that the same plane that just... He's taxiing down there and he's just landed that way. That's not dangerous at all. So they're landing this way and they're taking off that way. Okay. I better get a wriggle on before... Let's not put the reversers on, eh? I better wait for him to come round. So you can actually see the wake behind it. That is so cool. Little Flybleed's... Flyblee? What's saying Flyblee? Little Flybee is taxied down now. Okay, brakes off. Let's make my way. Alright, so there's the Flybee at the end of the runway. This is something I wanted in X-Plane that works for a really long time. Because it means even when you are flying alone, you're not flying alone. Imagine the next level of immersion would be to have ATC, which I used to really enjoy chatting to ATC back in my FSX days. I will go right to the end. Okay, hold short. Right, so while we're here, we'll have a look at the flight schedule. So departures, so all flights. So currently it's 12:14. Manchester International has just departed. 12:10 to Liverpool is arrived, I'm guessing, and the next one is 12:25. So we've got plenty of space. No one else is going to take off on this runway now. So let's mosey on out.
Approaching 26.
Well, that's good to know, because that's the runway I wanted.
On runway 26.
Okay then. So, next question is, will this work as far as the autopilot's concerned? Let's set my indicated airspeed. Oop. It's 250. And then we shall put the autopilot on and get ready to go. Newcastle, hopefully, here we come. That's a hell of a crosswind.
V1, rotate, V2.
Okay, gear up, flaps up, auto throttle on, VNav on. This is where the plane always nosedives for me. Come on. I don't know why. There we go. Alright, it's finally sorted itself out now, it seems. Every time I take off in this plane, it just nosedives. That's a hell of a turn. Alright, 19,000 feet is the first. So 37 miles to go until we get to Benix, then Akiki, finally EGNT. So we should be following the line here on the nav. I've got the auto throttle set because we're below 10,000 feet. It's 250, so that should maintain that. levelling out. We should start our climb then. So where's the runway? Where did we just take off from? There. So that's a hell of a turn we've just done. Now if we're going to follow the proper jetways, then we should just be following this line of aircraft. Let's increase these because it's a little bit overcast. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get over the UK, because currently it's absolutely teeming down.
Altimeter setting.
It'll be good to see what it does with the altitude. And it's the first time I've done something different with this aircraft as well. I haven't set in a departure airport. I've just loaded the flight plan in, and be interesting to see if it follows it and if it lines me up with the runway as it should. According to the flight plan, it will. In theory now, with the auto throttles on and the autopilot on and the VNAV on, I shouldn't have to touch a thing until I get brave enough to turn the autopilot off when we get to Newcastle. Right, 8,000 feet on our way to 19,000 feet. Set barrier to standard then, she's already told you. Yeah, my cheeky little Fly with Lewis script does that though, Tux. I added in a couple of scripts today. I've got rid of X-Ambience, and I've added in some different cloud scripts, which I'm thinking at the moment look completely horrid. That just looks, it's a 2D picture, look at it. Hang on, that can't be the... Well, I said it can't be the UK already, can it? No, it's France. I've got to recheck which way Sim... Oh no, that's correct. No, there we go. So there's our flight plan. So that's where we're going to go, is across France, over the Isle of Wight, over London, and then up to Newcastle. Betting those rubbish clouds before. Yeah, it's getting them right. I'm thinking, what's wrong with the ones that are in X-Plane? Oh, 12,000 feet. Right, I can increase my speed now up to 300. So a lot of aircraft around me. I think there's a radar we can look at. There we go. So that shows the aircraft around me. Turn off my landing lights. Yeah. I think I didn't turn them on. I didn't turn them on. I only put the nav and the beacon on and the strobe on. Because, you know, pro. So flight level 402 is a Ryanair plane. Clouds look okay. from a distance. In close up, they do look a bit naff. You know, from a distance, that looks lovely. And exactly, yeah. I wasn't landing, I was taking off. Is there taking off lights? And hi, Tobit Ninja. Yeah, I've only just put them in. It's a script. I put the ultimate mod in. I put real haze and better shadows. Better shadows didn't work, so I had to remove it. Real haze and yeah, the ultimate mod. But I removed the ultimate mod once before, so I might just go back to standard stock X-Plane. Oh god, I see now over the UK the weather is rough, and it looks like we're getting that here now. Thomson Airways, are they still going? Right. Oh, Tui now. Yeah. So Garmi is next at 21 miles, and then Vasux. So I'll just zoom in on my. Garmi's in the middle of the ocean. Vasux is just south of the Isle of Wight, and then we cut across to Portsmouth, and then pretty much fly over Heathrow. So up to 30,000 feet. Which again, I thought my SimGrief plan said 22,000 feet, but okay, we'll go with 30,000 feet. And my day's going okay, thank you very much. So if this actually works now with setting up a flight in this plane, it is very simple. As all I did was set the perf 2 page, so set the cruise altitude, which I actually did set at 22,000, but okay, and set my speed, and then loaded the flight plan, and that was it. And then just taxied and took off and put VNAV on. If it follows that, then this is the simplest plane in the world to not only fly but start. Look at current weather, you should get to London just as the heavy stuff starts to hit. Yeah, well, I'm only 70 miles west of London where I am, and it's been rough as anything here, so make the most of these blue skies because they're not going to last. But I do like the fact we got all these tags around so you can see what planes are around you. And it's quite a lot. Wow, he's going in. Look at him. Oh, here comes the rain. Look. So where I am now is here, so just off the coast of France, heading across directly now towards the Isle of Wight, and then it will be Portsmouth, London, and then up. I don't know what our ETA is, haven't we looked at that? ETA 1309 Zulu. Can't be, surely. It's only going to take another 40 minutes to get to Newcastle. That can't be right. It's 317 miles away. Oh, it could be. I was going to pick somewhere a bit closer, thinking Newcastle might have been a bit far away, but okay, we'll go with that. I suppose we are at 30,000 feet. What's the ground speed? 515 knots. Oh, there go the clouds. Going to see pineapple. Yes, well, we finished the last trucking stream in Newcastle, so I thought I'd fly to Newcastle. But currently, according to Discord, Pineapple is grooving to 90s music. Go Pineapple. Considering he wasn't even born in the 90s, but you know, okay. Yeah, cheers, Ben. Plane down below me. I'm guessing he's landing somewhere. Well, he can't be landing in the middle of the ocean. He's at 0 feet, apparently. What the hell's he landing down there? This is on an aircraft carrier. Yeah, I'm not sure about his clouds. Got a bit of flickering going on. So I may just go back to standard X-plane cloudage. You know, how bad can they be? It's about to come up across the Isle of Wight. 18 miles to go to Avant, then Hemel. Well, yeah, I suppose we've only got 291 miles to go now. Blimey. Well, I thought his flight would be a bit longer than this. There's another magic roundabout at Hemel. Oh, it can't be as bad as the one here. Isn't that just one big roundabout though? I suppose the one here is, but... all those planes. Look at the radar again. There's only a couple of planes within 36 miles of me, so that's slightly reassuring. Don't know where it will set as a departure now, because it doesn't know where I am. Flight schedule. I've still got Jersey. So how do I... 5 little ones inside the big one. Oh, okay. How do I get it to show the flight where I'm going then? The place where I'm going. So surely I want to be able to see... So if you've got TCAS in your plane, it will support that as well. So it will give you a warning if you're too close to another plane. That's quite cool. You can turn the label sizes down to make them smaller. But yeah, you can't tell it where you're going. There's no way of loading in a flight plan. So say I'm going from here to here. So it would then tell you what the flight is, where you're going. It knows where you are when you start. So 31,738 different routes. There's 372 active aircraft, and it supports, there's 28,685 airports, 13,111 of them are usable as of this build. I spoke to someone on the phone yesterday from Just Flight, and they probably released it a week early, but they weren't getting much feedback from the testers to say that they found any issues, but there are a few little things that are going to be updated. The only thing I've found so far is when I loaded it up, one of the planes was taxiing backwards. So it was reversing down the taxiway, which is quite a feat if you can do it. She's gone over the Isle of Wight. Portsmouth is down there somewhere. Below the clouds. So I think we're above the weather. You can see by the horrible clouds. So flying over the South Downs. So it's going to get quite busy when we get up towards London. Just imagine the amount of planes near us will increase. Reversers on, it's a doddle. It's how some airliners did pushback before tugs were as common. Oh, okay. Am I flying on 9? I am actually. I am in FS Cloud. Purely because it's a way of being able to track my progress easy. I've got it in little nav map. I like the fact I can just drag this this little thing in. So there's only a few people flying in the UK today. 2 of us. Yeah, it's a pretty cool name. Okay, I've just noticed a slight issue there then. That we're seeing... Okay, it's not clever enough, is it? In an ideal world, I'd be saying, okay, you'd only want to see those tags. No, I can see why. Because I was thinking, well, you don't want to see those names in the windscreen area, wouldn't you? But it's not going to be that intelligent, is it? So ground speed of 535 knots. We are whipping along quite nicely. I'm sure I had another aircraft then. If I did, that's really close. Yeah, I think I've had a flight level 372. So 7,000 feet above me. There he goes. A plane's just gone over behind me. It's going to get busy as we come up on airspace around London, which is what we're heading towards now, but also all landing aircraft are going to be below us. he's going to fly straight over the top of Heathrow by the looks of things. Probably get a better view of that on the little nav map if I bring it in. Yeah, I had to fly straight over virtually Heathrow. What's stopping others from crashing into you? You can actually turn so that the AI won't crash. Sorry, will crash into you. But they're on predetermined flight plans. So yeah, Heathrow is now below us. There, in fact. If it didn't lag out. Oh, that's Heathrow for you. Look at it. Lag fest. Yeah, so there's a load of planes parked up down there at Heathrow, which we sort of had a glimpse of. There it is. Oh, good old cloudage. There it is. There's Heathrow. But we are heading north. So what have we got? 17 miles to go to Hemel. And then Mogley in 48.1. I'm definitely going to be interested to see what happens when it comes to the descent. It won't slow me down, but it should descend me, according to the flight plan, if I can bring the flight plan up. That's where we're at Hemel, so 30,000 feet. We get to Mogley, we drop to 29,000 feet, strangely. Betax at 30,000 feet, Mammal at 30,000 feet. 30,000 feet all the way to Oboxa. We go to 18.1, Gasco at 17,000, Uvavu at 13,000, Tilney at 10,200, Gurley, hey, Gurley, at 6,800, Nateb at 2,800, and then straight into EGNT. So that's going to be the interesting bit when we start to descend down here. Yeah, afternoon, Dave. So we've got a slight turn coming up. How was that? So that must be there. Yeah, Hemel. So a slight turn at Hemel, and then all the way to Mogley, which is near Huntingdon.
Oh, yeah.
So there's our slight turn. And the next turn then is Mogley. Mugo T. Mugger T. Mugo T. Mugger T. How can I read that wrong? Thank you very much for the follow. Is that Mugo T? No, it's Mugger T. So he only picked this flight today because Chris Brown, as he does the early hours of a Saturday morning, will generally post some sort of pornographic picture of a plane on the Discord server. The sun was coming up and he was flying over the Channel Islands, and when I realised I had a couple of hours back at home today, I thought Channel Islands might be a good shout then. So yeah, not convinced by the clouds. So whether that is the ultimate mod, which is just a Lua script. So the shadows didn't work. So the only thing that I've got in now is the haze. I've taken out X ambience. Because now with this SFD global, although we can't see it because we're above the clouds, the ground textures now are looking, well, you can sort of see them. Ground textures now, although this is true earth, are looking stunning. There was the thing that I got an email this morning from Orbex with their latest thing, which is no, I don't want notifications. Not EGNX, which is the Global Terraflora. So brings in better looking trees and stuff. Tree types, large quantity of trees, vegetation, multiple tree types, colour to match the default ground textures. But this SFD Global is really good. So, don't know. As much as I love Orbex's stuff, not so sure on that one. So, True Earth is what I'm flying over now. So, you've got Great Britain, Central, North and South. The only airport that I'm contemplating getting, I should really get Leeds Bradford, shouldn't I, just to really annoy Sam and go, yeah, I bought the superior airport, I didn't buy East Midlands, I bought Leeds Bradford instead. But no, East Midlands is one I should probably get, and I don't know about these others. Innsbruck, not bothered by it. Elstree, I'd never fly in and out of Elstree. Old Warden, I wouldn't fly in and out of there. Fair Oaks, no. Stapleford, no. Sunburg, probably not. So East Mids is a good base for leaving and departing the UK. And no, I'm not on commission with Orbex, so I was wearing their baseball cap today to stop me getting wet when we got at the flight sim show. So yeah, if this plane works and lands me okay, I think this is then the simplest jet to set up and fly, because you saw how easy it was to start the thing. And the only thing I'd done before that was when I got in, I just switched the batteries on, flicked the APU on and put the electrics on, and then we were ready to go. Yeah, I need to go to some air shows next year. There's plenty of things on my list for next year to do. So I was having discussions with the guy from Just Flight yesterday, saying that they didn't do the Orlando show this year, flight sim show. They did it last year, and they may be doing it again next year. So that could be quite interesting. You know, a week in Orlando along with the flight sim show. So how far have we got to go? So Betax is 31 miles. I think it's Orlando. It might be Vegas. No, I'm sure you said Orlando. Because they were really impressed with the UK one. So it did die off a bit on the Sunday afternoon, but was really impressed on the Saturday. I thought it moved every year. Oh, okay. Unless it's me. But the UK one would be an annual pilgrimage for me. yeah, I do want to do more stuff next year. You know, I want to go on a pacer before they all disappear. Flight show, an air show of some sort would be quite cool to go to, and a day plane spotting. Yes, I don't know what point with this it changes flight path views. Okay, that's a thing. Don't know what that does. No, hang on, I'm flying over East Midlands now then. Oh, is it picked the nearest airport to me that it supports? Am I flying near EGNX then? Yes, I am. Well, okay, I'm impressed. So I'm flying near EGNX now. So here's where I am. So EGNX is here somewhere. And it's now picked up as that being the closest airport that it's supporting. So I've got a list of, I can choose the departures to and from EGNX. So 1250 Chennai, where the hell's that going? That's got a bit of a trek in it. So Ryanair. And the next arrival is from Alicante. I like that. That's pretty cool. So the airport you're flying over that it supports, it changes. I was wondering, how does it know what airport where I'm going to be? That's pretty cool. So yes, we're pretty much now flying up to Sheffield, and then we'll go north, and then we'll continue going slightly west towards where the hell's that? Somewhere in Lancashire. So definitely a bit of a zigzag around the country. So yes, a mile to go to Betax, and then Mammal is 28 miles. So far, apart from that initial thing that this plane does of when I take off and put the AP on, it nosedives. Apart from that, it does really well. That wouldn't be slightly scary for the passengers at all. Plane heading for the ground. Yeah. I think one of the questions was people expected this to be live, sort of live departures, and I think it said that they're about 2 weeks out of date. Pretty sure Autopilot won't work below 500 feet. Well, I normally, when it's down to a couple of thousand feet, I'll hand fly it in anyway, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it lines me up with the runway. So yeah, still got East Midlands showing. So they're not live flights, because imagine how complicated that would be to get live information from all those airports. So it's about 2 weeks out of date, but they are real flights to and from, and it's showing you what gates are in, the ID, what airline it is. It is really cool, isn't it? So it's 12:53. It's a 12:50. So in theory, I can't. Arrivals. There we go. So there's this flight arriving from Alicante into East Midlands. And there he is on final. So I'm up above him somewhere. And you can see, yes, the weather's a bit rough. That's just really cool. Causing a few little glitches. Yeah, graphically, because this is global traffic now, I think it's reduced down the graphic level. We can see that. We have gone a bit blurry. Right, 800 feet. It's just the fact that these planes will follow these flight plans and you just fit in around them. God, he seems low. Yeah, pull up. Pull up. Oh, okay. I know why. I'm using True Earth. That's why. It obviously won't recognise completely that it's True Earth. That's why the graphics are a bit shot. But there we go. So hopefully now it returns me to my plane. Yes, it does. So I'm now over Sheffield. So here's where I am. Over Sheffield, heading up towards Leeds. So our final destination is up here in Newcastle. It's the Kegworth air crash all over again. So that was a plane. Wow, frame rate. Actually heard that. That was flying quite close by. Just making our turn, heading towards Leeds. I'm definitely really impressed with this. It's landing I'm going to be interested in, because I don't know how okay, so yeah, one of these we descended by 1,000 feet, didn't we? So still closest to East Midlands. So Leeds Bradford isn't on here then, because we're pretty much at the end of the glide slope virtually for Leeds Bradford, albeit 29,000 feet too high. Oh, hang on, we're descending 18,100 feet. Is that right? Seems a bit early. Oh no, we're only 85 miles out, so yeah, it would be. Okay, so starting our descent down to 18,000 feet. So the throttle's back off. see bits of ground. There's a plane. That's Leeds Bradford down there. And a Jet 2 plane. So I don't know whether that's not one of the supported airports then. Let's have a look. No, still showing as East Mids. You'd be gutted then if you bought Leeds Bradford and then you wanted to use Traffic Global. It's like, hey, we're not supporting your airport, sorry. Glad we get below those clouds as well. So ground speed's coming down because obviously we're descending now. So we're at 418 knots. $17 miles to go before we get to our next waypoint. Hopefully we're down at 18,000 feet by then. So how are we doing on our flight plan? So Leeds, where's our next? So gas go and then turn right. We've got quite a few waypoints left to go. I'm hoping this works. I'm hoping it lines me up with the end of that runway. Oh, for a brief second then we saw land. There's a slight glimmer of hope. Right, so we're coming up on 19,000 feet. In theory, I think it should calculate the descent rate based on the distance we've got, the speed we've got, and where we need to be to. Where we need to be to? It's not English, is it? Where we need to be. Do they know it's a bonus to arrive alive? Yeah, I haven't got that skin for this plane. I have for the 732, which I think is what I'll be flying tomorrow afternoon. Right, so levelling off at 18,100 feet. Where am I going? Newcastle. Going to invade Pineapple. Where to you going, Steve? Yeah. Newcastle, way, eh? Okay, will it descend again now? Can't remember what the next thing was, whether it held us at 18,100 for a few. I guess I'll look at the flight plan, can't I? Let's have a look and see what it's saying. Yeah, 17,000, then 13, then 10, and then we just start our way in. Oh, that was a thing. Shadows moved. Oh, there we go. So I'm wearing body armor. I'm not getting out the plane. I'm staying in the plane. Right, it's sitting down to 13,000 now. Wonder what. Still Still showing us East Midlands. Slightly worrying. There's nothing around me. Well, I was impressed then for a minute, thinking it was East Midlands was going to be the one, but right, 14.6. I will bring that speed down. We'll start edging it back towards 250. When I come out of this cloud, it's probably going to be a lot of rain. Right, slowing it down to 13,000. Speed's going to start coming off now. There's ground below us, which is a good thing. So we're now descending down to 10,200. So here's where we are. Heading up to here. Because we're descending so much, not giving much chance for the speed to scrub off. Oop. So I'm going to bring the speed brakes out. I'm going to lose some of that speed. Get us back down to 250. As we descend again. Okay, we'll actually bring the speed down to 200 now. So descending down to 6,800. It's been a really enjoyable flight. Less time, I can't even think of the words, shorter than I thought it was going to be. Right, 4 miles from the next waypoint, which is Gurley. So Gurley, Nateb, and then in. So we should descend again. True Earth just doesn't disappoint at all. Next waypoint is Pineapple, yes. Pineapple's the next waypoint after Gurley. Yeah, Gurley Pineapple. That's what it has. See, the flights and the multiplayer trucking that we do that ends up in Newcastle, he's not around for them. Right, it's sending down to 2,800 now, so I'm going to bring this speed back down to about 180. He says as the speed goes up. Only 17 miles from destination, so after this it should be turn on to final. What's my approach speed? I don't know these things. It's going to be a very short final based on what I can see on the little nav map. So the approach is going to be interesting for sure. Okay, I wonder what Traffic Global's now got as my airport. Durham Tees Valley. Not many flights in and out of there. 3. Okay, I probably brought the gear down a bit too early. He's just reminding you, Tux, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to bring me in right at the end of the glide slope. Doesn't this look awesome though? True Earth is just epic. Runway over here somewhere. Right, 2,800 we're now at. Right in front of me now? No. It's over here somewhere according to the little nav map. it would be a real shame if it got all this way from Jersey. Again, it's all I've done is loaded the flight plan from SimBrief into the plane, and so far it's done a really good job of following it. We've got 4 miles till the next waypoint. If I look at the flight plan, yeah, 2,800 to the airport. In fact, there's the airport. So it didn't work. It took me to the airport, so I'm thinking that I've got to set an approach. No, I didn't do a thing, Tux. Because before, when I've set a departure, it's got the plane really confused. I think now it's just going to fly round and round in circles. So I can do that now. Arrival. EGNT. Select runway. 7. Select star. Gas go. Projection. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, it's heading to the star now. Okay. Well, no, I wanted to try it from my own peace of mind if it would actually just load it in. Because before it's duplicated stuff. So I need to be up to 4,200 feet, am I? Because before I've loaded in the departure, loaded in the arrival, and then loaded in the flight plan, and it's put a load of stuff in twice. There we go. Let's speed back up. I don't mind going to the start. So if I look at the flight plan now, it's going to Gasco. Then it's going to go to there. And then do lots of things before arriving there at 314 feet. So that's fine. Oh no, I didn't know that was the thing you had to do. I just thought you did the flight plan. Oh, can you do that in SimBrief? Ooh, now I'm intrigued. I just go from here to there in SimBrief. Okay, right, so if I did that in SimBrief then, want to work out how, and then loaded that into this plane, it would follow the SID on the way out and then follow the star on the way in. I didn't know that. I may have to try another flight. Right, I just need to work out how to do that in SimBrief then. Because I did, well, it got me to the airport absolutely fine, and the transition up the country was fine, but it didn't. Okay, I think that's why this thing's failed me every time. Is that I can set the departure in the flight computer, and I can set the arrival, but then it's the bit in the middle. I've never actually had a successful complete flight in this. If I did a complete flight in SimBrief with SIDS and stars, is that an option you can just do then? Yeah, I wouldn't enter it manually. What I want to be able to do is just load the whole flight plan into here and then just go. Because it then picks a departure runway, arrival runway, so in theory then it should line me up and do the whole thing. In theory. Don't know why I'm at 200 knots either. I can do 250, can't I, below indicated airspeed. I can speed up a bit. Below 10,000 feet I can do 250. There we go, that should speed up our progress. Alright, it's okay, so I need to work out how to do a... Why doesn't it do it automatically then in SimBrief? So I've already just got used to how to do a flight in SimBrief and import it into the plane. Right, so I'm determined to get this thing down at Newcastle. It does mean, however, though, at the moment we're flying away from Newcastle. Newcastle's back there. Well, there's the plane that's on the runway at Newcastle. So we are flying this way to then turn around and follow the approach. Nothing, Tux. Just me saying I need to work out then how to do that in SimBrief. And I'm now flying away from Newcastle for 30 miles. Actually, I could do one now, couldn't I? If I new flight. So high server load on SimBrief. So if I did departure, in theory, here, going back to Jersey. Okay, airframe is E-175. Optional entries: scheduled time en route, departure runway, arrival runway, taxi out, taxi in, extra fuel, altitude, passengers, cargo, ZFW, AirAct cycles out today, route finder. I can't see anywhere where it actually lets me add anything. Yeah, I can't see anything where it let me put a... So here's SimBrief. So I've put the flight going to and from, which it's put in the alternative, the aircraft type. Profile, blah 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 blah, that's all things. Departure time, departure runway, arrival runway, taxi in, taxi out, fuel, passengers, etc. Doodly-loo. AirAct cycles out of date, yeah, I know that. And then the route. So there's our route. And then we've got the map down here showing the route, but that again, that would just take me to the airport, wouldn't it, and not necessarily following an approach. So how do I get it to follow, to add an approach to the, look at the route, it has suggested JSY1N star. All suggested routes, but how? But that's all I did for this one. Was the same thing. I just did the thing I normally do, which is departure, arrival, select the aircraft type, and that was it. But why didn't this one give me that same option then? Why didn't this one follow the approach? I'm confused by it now then. So I can't set it up in SimBrief to follow a departure, follow a SID and then a star, and then the route in between. It won't do it automatically. Right, in other news, we've only got 16... I need to read the manual. Or again, I just do it via here and select the approach. Maybe don't do departure and just set the approach, and then delete any bits that are in between. Because it would have flown me to... Although I didn't come into this point, did I? It would have flown me to this point. If this works, then that's what I need to do. Because currently we're flying away from Newcastle for another 13 miles. And the weather is flipping awful. Frame rate for the win. Right, so 12 miles from our waypoint, and then we should turn around and head back the other way again. And then see what it does. flight plan. So yeah, here's where we are, heading to Gasco, then Nateb, NT, so 4,200, 3,500 feet, 2,200 feet, and then 314 feet. So that's what should bring us in then, lining up with the runway. In theory. 7 miles to go to Gasco. So yeah, so basically we're going to go up here, turn around, and then fly back down where we just come from. Yeah, a Vuvu. Ah, there's a Vuvu. So we did come in on a Vuvu, so that would have been our approach. So if I'd have come straight to, after a Vuvu, then done the star, it would have followed the approach in. Right, so I need to try that then. I've had all sorts of issues. I thought for once this plane was actually going to do as it was told, but I'm guessing not. Right, 4 miles to go. It's still great seeing these other aircraft. I wonder if it'll give us... no, it's still giving us Durham Tees Valley, although we flew directly over Newcastle. 3 flights on a Saturday. I was busy there. Right. So this is the point where we should have followed the SID on the approach, star on the approach. So we would have come into here, because we did. We came to this waypoint on the way in. Poor passengers thinking, oh look, we're flying over Newcastle. Hang on, where the hell are we going now? Got to Newcastle, turned around and shot off in another direction. So, okay. Right, so now heading back in roughly the right direction. Weather's definitely drawing in a bit. Right, 42 miles to go. And it's raining. So it's 65 miles from our destination that we just flew over a few minutes ago. So that's the point. Yeah, it's 2,200 feet. and then line us up with the runway hopefully there. So 314 feet, and there's our go around. So 4,200, 3,500. Definitely rough weather in Newcastle. But overall, really liking the plane, really liking global traffic. It was nice seeing stuff on the ground when we left Jersey and seeing the odd plane on the way. That is really cool. Need to do something about the way the clouds look graphically, as I've put in the ultimate mod, but I think I might just remove that and just go stock X-plane. You just imagine all the passengers sat in the back going, "Oh yeah, man, where are we going?" Fly over their house and then turn around and fly 50 miles in the opposite direction again. Good thing I filled it up with fuel as well. So we'll have to try another flight, flying a bit further, and then put in the SID and the star. But before, it got really confused by it because it duplicated everything. It duplicated the departure, then duplicated the arrival. So I had to go in and remove certain bits of the flight plan, and that's not ideal. What airport was showing. Yeah, still Durham Tees. Oh, rain stopped briefly. Plane coming in to arrive where we're going. Oh wow, that got bright. Right, 23 miles. True Earth does really impress me. Right, so flying back towards Newcastle again. So yeah, I think it's coming in on final. This BA flight over here. Right, 16 miles to go, and then we'll start seeing what happens. I don't think we should descend on the next one, should we? Yeah, down to 3,500. I love watching the auto throttles work. Yeah, 14 miles. So we're 39 miles from the airport for the second time. But it's still going to be the same. Guarantees Valley. Okay, I wonder if I can dump airport list. Why do I want to do that? No, forget that. Yeah, so I reckon he's coming in to land. This BA flight over here. There's a Swiss international flight at 24,000 behind me, above me. Oh, there he is over there. Loading airports. Okay, what was loading airports? That was slightly concerning. Still saying Durham Tees Valley. Okay, so we can see our approach now. Wow, that looks good. No, well, I had to loop around, didn't I? We're flying back over Newcastle. Just because, yeah. So here's the airport. So that's our final destination. So I'm going to slow the speed down. I'm going to bring it down to 200. Because when we get to this waypoint, we should be descending then. Make sure your wheels are up. We have now to land on. Wheels are up. Wheels are up. Oh, because they get nicked. Why does he fly over? They'll nick the wheels. Right, so sending down to 3,500 and turning. Yeah, so there's our airport, and this BA flight is up there. I'm guessing he's coming in to land. So now I've flown directly over the airport. Will traffic global then go... No, still saying Durham Tees Valley. That's really peculiar. How can you stop it? It's just really bizarre. There's a thing that's saying show missing airports. So just explain airports required for traffic. The following list of airports are referenced in traffic databases, but either entirely missing or have no runways or parking. Without these, traffic global is unable to route aircraft. So there's a list of airports, amount of flights that are affected. One in China with 7,800 flights affected. So there's all the airports that are in X-plane then, but aren't in FS in global traffic because there's nowhere for the planes to park when they get there. That's quite cool. So there's only 3 flights affected going into Colombia. So yeah, some of those little airports that we've landed at where there's been nowhere to park, they can't be used in global traffic because when a plane arrives it's got to go to a gate. So these little tiny airports won't be in global traffic because where do the planes go? Hi Ben. Right, so we're sending down to 2,200 now. I'm going to bring that speed down again to 180. So the runway's there behind us. So we're going to turn around and then we'll be on approach. So when we go into this turn, I'll put the gear down for the second time. And I really now want to fly, or try again on, see if I can get a proper flight done in this thing. Alright, gear down. So we should turn again now. Yes, all by myself, Ben. We don't normally stream on a Saturday afternoon multiplayer, so no one was expecting to join. So I don't think I'll be doing a late night flight tonight either, so hopefully back with a few of us tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, at least I've got the AI to keep me company. There is that. Right, I have the runway. Is that a runway? I have the runway in sight. Not quite lined up with it, but it's in sight. Okay, this isn't going to end well, is it?
Unstable. Unstable. Flaps. Flaps.
Yeah, flaps are the least of my worries, considering you're about to just fly me into the ground plane. Looks like there's a plane coming in on the other end of the runway as well, so yay. Oh no, he's not. He's sat waiting to depart. Oh no, he's in fact departing. Holy! Ladies and gentlemen, please don't be concerned that the cabin is full of smoke. Well, landing would have been fine if it wasn't for the the fact that the AI was let's let someone smoke out. If the AI wasn't taking off at the other end. Yeah, sure, blame the AI. Well, yeah. Yeah, the plane is it's slightly dead. I think the engines might be on fire, so let's I can't even see the fire. I can't even see the levers to pull for the fire switch. Because according to this, the engines are still running, yet quite clearly they're not. I get pineapple to call local fire engine. Yeah, plane catches fire at Newcastle airport. Pilot bemused at plane taking off coming towards him. Well, I don't think we can progress anywhere from here without having to reload the aircraft and start it up. So yeah, not good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're fired. Dalton Buckley. Thank you very, very much for the follow. It's oh so quiet. Okay, the whole thing's sort of gone worryingly quiet now. Oh, I didn't need to reload it. I could just fixed all things. Ben, thank you very much for the follow. It's just popped up. Right, there we go. At least we can taxi to the gate. I did really enjoy having the, apart from taking off towards me, yeah, casually leave the scene. Yeah, nothing to see here. You unfollowed. Well, that's very nice of you, Ben. Thank you. Well, thank you for the follow. And then, yeah, the unfollowing I'm not so sure about. Right, so are there gates at Newcastle? Oh, it's down there, isn't it? Okay. That wasn't my fault. Okay, it was a hard landing, but I think the reason there was an issue was that I hit the plane that was taking off. That was a slightly bigger concern. What's the time?
Caution. On taxiway. On taxiway.
Yes, I know I'm on a taxiway. No, I think it's probably only the first time you follow, because I saw it pop up on my activity feed, but obviously didn't get a notification on Twitch because you already had followed. That's a hell of a taxi. Right, I've got to find a gate now. This one right on the end will do, I think, rather than put the passengers through any more trauma than they need to be. Okay, I think stop is the word that they're trying to get across there. Slightly bouncing. Passengers stood up, fell over now in the aisle. Okay. There we go. Let's shut it down. Oh, seatbelt sign was already off because I reloaded, didn't I? And let's go off, 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 off. There we go. Well, we sort of made it to to Newcastle. We can have a look at Traffic Global quickly and see if it now shows. Yeah, there we go. So it now shows the flights from here. 97 flights in and out today. So 13:59 local. So departures. There's a 14:10 going to that place, Zakanos. And then arrivals. There's a 14:10. So that's already arrived. And that's 10 minutes out. is really cool though. You could follow that plane from all the way from where it's come from. You know, its landing gear will come down at some point. Traffic global is pretty awesome. Yes, he's at 9,000 feet now. He's 10 minutes out, so he's going to come right the way down and land. So in theory, if I did that and then that, he is there. I'm guessing, is that him? Where's the runway? He's coming over the sea. Jet 2. Yeah, so that's him. That's the plane we just saw. So he's coming in on final. So he'll land here. Or is it that one? No, that one. Flight level. Yeah, that's the. I've lost my bearings. Yeah, C's that way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's him. He's 11 miles out. Ben the second. Thank you. You set up another account just so you could get the little notification come up, Ben. So yeah, the plane itself, navigation-wise, I need to work on. So setting the departure airport, I don't need to do. The flight plan, it followed perfectly all the way up the country until it got here. And it did follow the approach. I think whether True Earth confused it. But we did sort of arrive. The fact that we should have landed on that runway, although it was set, unless it's me. No, because I picked the approach. I picked runway 7 though, didn't I? So perhaps I shouldn't have set the approach to runway 7. Perhaps it's my fault setting the approach to the wrong end. There's a plane here coming in. This little Fly B is coming in now. So he'll land and he'll taxi, and that Jet 2 plane is at 2,100 feet. So following in him, the traffic was departing opposite end at Jersey also. Yeah, so again, whether there's just a few little issues with certain airports. It could have been me. I think if I'd have set the arrival, but again, I would have still... No, because the time would have been... I don't know if I would have been sat... If the plane... I'm not sure how sophisticated it is. So if a plane sat waiting to depart and I'm on final, would it depart? So if the AI's sat here ready to pull out onto the runway and I'm within a certain distance of the end of the runway, I wonder if the AI would actually pull out and depart. Well, no, because I was coming in from the wrong end, wouldn't I? So that probably wouldn't affect it. So this Flybe will already have its gate assigned. Traffic global, flight schedule, arrivals. So Flybe from Exeter, is that the one? Yeah. So he's going to gate 23. So it's already set where he's going. And then that's the one coming in now. That's that Jet 2 that we just followed. So his gate hasn't been assigned yet. So I wonder when that will get assigned. I wonder if it will be when he lands then. Now he might disappear into the ground because I've got True Earth on. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's True Earth affecting that. I wonder if it would do the same though. So if any third aftermarket airports that you've got, I wonder if it would do the same. I wonder if it would actually crash. Yeah, cloaking device on a plane. So his gate hasn't been set yet. Oh, it has gate 5. That is pretty brilliant though, isn't it? It's just, it does add a whole certain something to even flying on your own, as I've done there. Having other planes around that you can quite clearly crash into. Is Jet 2 like Chav Airlines then? Where am I parked? Oh, I'm there. I forgot I had a plane here. It's over there. Chavair UK, yeah. Well, that's a hell of a turn. Well, the runway was out of sync, but the terminal doesn't seem to be. So whether it's just a glitch. Yeah, see, so next arrival isn't. He was actually early as well. He's not due till 14:15, so he was early. There you go. And the engine's shut down. That is really cool. So departure wise, you've got, he's out at 14:20. He's going out at 14:10. So he'll depart in 2 minutes and he'll be off. That's really cool. Anyway, there we go. So we sort of made, that's a lot of planes just for Newcastle. So we sort of made it not to Newcastle. We did sort of make it to Newcastle from Jersey via Newcastle. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, next stream for me then is probably going to be tomorrow afternoon, where we'll do some more flying in multiplayer. It won't be my normal trucking stream tonight, because I won't get home till after the stream was normally started. So yes, back with some flying tomorrow afternoon. Normal schedule will resume next week, with something on Wednesday, something on Friday, and back to normal on Saturday. So yeah, next stream for me will be tomorrow afternoon. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to Ben, Dalton, Muggerty, and Big Mac for the follows. And yeah, I'll end that there. Catch you soon for some more flying, and catch you soon on Discord as well. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.